Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to S Reviews, where today we have ourselves a couple of tracks from an act named Monieman Trail. If we switch over to here, we have them on Spotify, and by a couple I actually mean three. We're going to be listening through three tracks from Monieman Trail today off of the Spotify playlist down here. The first of these tracks is called Dirty with Monieman Trail and Plug Kari. We're going to be listening through this track along the other two from start till finish. Hear what we think. Let's go. Is that... I've noticed I go JJM sometimes when it's like the production or someone involved with the music of the track.
Hey yo, Pluto, you going brazen?
Oh, nice guitar riff there. I like that. Oh, bit of Foley there with a low 808 there. Nice smooth bass. Oh, is that a machine gun sample or something like that?
Yeah, we in the cool counting racks, yeah, we switching lanes. I done lost so many times, I can't shake the pain. Boy done took so many drugs, all he feel is pain. Been in the storm so long, we can't feel the rain. Stay back and push a nigga way back. All the tapping that you doing, yeah, we don't play them. Doors gonna put on red dots.
I will say this, that 808, that kick there is very resonant in the mix. I'm not sure if that's a deliberate thing or not. And don't get me wrong, the elements sound, you can hear the other elements in the mix alongside that kick and the boom, boom, the distortion there. It's just very dominant. That might be a deliberate thing.
So long, that's why I prayed. I done gave everything that I had to give. By myself all alone these few past years. Yeah, I'm sorry, I must admit I was perked up. Some people that I love, I was too turned up. I was fighting my demon like everybody else. How you gon' pray for me and curse me in the same breath? Yeah, time to change the game like the head, bro. I'ma keep it 100 until my last breath. Yeah, going racks on racks, going black on black. And all the dudes that I always time to pay them back. Give it to my brother, yeah, I got you. Just remember that. So we have my back. Make it out the county and go spin them racks. We gon' do them.
Before we go into the hook, yeah, I'm liking that we're taking away the drums sometimes just to have a little bit of contrast with the parts where it is quite heavy, like bass oriented. The guy's got... I'm not exactly sure because I'm not familiar with how Monieman Trail sounds. I'm not sure whether this is Plug Kari starting or Monieman Trail starting. But either way, I'm really, really happy with what I'm hearing so far in regards to the flow, the way everything's been pronounced and everything like that. They may not seem like an important thing, but it really is in rap. You need to be able to hear all the words nice and clearly, you know? Kind of obviously ruins the effect of it otherwise. We're repeating these rhythms, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, with some of the melodies been repeated as well. And it works really well with the harmony instantiated in the sort of like the drums, and I think there's like some synth pads and stuff.
We gon' spin it all night, we gon' spin it all night. We gon' pop a no perk, yeah. We gon' do it on site, we gon' do it on site. Baby, I be home early. Long days and long nights. We been trapping, baby, I be home early. Long days and long nights, long days and long nights,
Yeah, I was locked up in that county, sleeping on that bunk bed. I'd rather start to death before I do time in the feds. I ain't signed, I'm independent, still gon' walk around with lead. Spread all these pistols, still gon' throw back all these meds. I've been talking to the devil, I can tell you what he said. I'm with my dog like Scooby-Doo, you play, we hopping out that van. Gotta keep a firearm, know I'm cooler than a fan. Yeah, they know I'm cooler than a...
Talking to the devil, and I'll tell you what he said. Interesting lyrics. I want to hear the whole of the song before I really sort of talk about what I think it means.
We got drums like a band. Had to cut back on designer, yeah, I'm trying to buy some land. Trying to book me for the show, I need like 50 in advance.
We gon' spin it all.
But before the show, I need like 50 in advance, hanging back on the Xanny. That's Xanax, isn't it? Am I correct at that? Interesting.
We gon' spin it all night. We gon' pop a no perk, yeah. We gon' do it on site. We gon' do it on site. Baby, I be home early. Long days and long nights. We been trapping, baby, I be home early. Long days and long nights, long days and long nights, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, we've got an instrumental outro here, I suppose. Is this song about them sort of doing their thing as musicians, working long days and long nights, coming home early, kind of gotten what they need to do done, and just popping off and celebrating and having a good time and all that kind of stuff? They're talking to the devil stuff, talking about like needing 50 in advance. Are they talking about their journey through the verses and then the result of their efforts in the chorus, I suppose? Yeah, there's huge difference in the perceived loudness, not necessarily the actual literal mix loudness between the kicks there. I think it's just because of the side chaining of the kicks. Really charming little colorful pad there, and with the guitar arpeggios. It's nice and chilled, despite the intensity of those kicks. I mean, I think they are 808s. I know that some 808s like super duper punchy. Cool. No, that was a well-written song. I think both these rappers, Plug and Monieman, did well. They were clearly discernible. There was a difference between their vocal textures and the mix. They had similar styles of vocal interpretation, the way they rapped and stuff like that. There was vocal modulation present there. I think it worked to the effect. It was kind of cool. It made sense within the genre. You can't get away with that with every type of music, but in this kind of genre of music, it works really, really well. So that's great. I'm happy with Dirty. What do we got next? We got Crossroad, right? Crossroad by Monieman Trail. Let's go.
The video shows a Cobb County, Georgia police officer talking to a woman in a car he pulled over on a traffic stop. She's unwilling to move her hands, afraid, she says, of getting shot, and he tells her, don't worry.
But you're not black. Remember, we only
Oh.
kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videos you've seen, have you seen
Shit, man.
How can you trust anybody behind no badge, yeah? They serve and protect you just to clean without no mask, yeah. The devil get behind you, better off to hit the gas. Running through the light, cause tonight might be your last, yeah. How can you kill us so freely? Laying on the ground saying that I can't breathe. Get treated like a dog, leave me bleeding in the streets. Feel like in 1968, you wanna hang me from a tree, yeah.
This hits incredibly differently to Dirty. This is obviously far more sinister vibe to it, which, you know, it's horrible. Horrible, the treatment. And it's terrible, man.
War, but they screaming peace, yeah. It's crazy how they still murder Dr. King, yeah. But Malcolm X had it right, yeah, this whole time. Innocent blood, missing from our bloodline. They say this ain't no way to go, but they still lost. The only way to kill a snake is chop his head off. Feel like the hood Moses screaming, let my people go. We the voices of the land, so we the only hope.
You know, talking about like Moses and Martin Luther King and everything like that in relation to this. The story is well told. You know, it's a massive shame that the people have to experience this. The music is very, very sad and somber and low key. The kicks are in this one, I think, are sit well better in the mix. This is a really well mixed track. I have a lot of love for this. At that crossroad, yeah.
Look the devil in his eye, we stand face to face. Blood raining from the sky, no amazing grace. They got murder on their mind when they see our face.
No amazing grace. Blood raining from the sky, no amazing grace. This is phenomenal imagery being invoked by Monieman Trail. He's a fantastic lyricist. I've got a lot of appreciation for Monieman Trail and his storytelling from this song.
Gonna be a genocide, had to leave my race. Fighting for people in this land who ain't stand for me. I had to learn it on my own, I had to fall back. I read a book, yeah, Deuteronomy. The most high chosen people, he made me a king. The tribe of Judah, handpicked from the rulers, yeah. I know some kids, they ain't even read a ruler, yeah. Fell in school, they ain't even afford a tutor, yeah. They tryna chop us in that ghetto, yeah. These are cries from the ghetto, yeah. They tryna put it between that middle, yeah. They got us killing our own brother, yeah. They got us killing our own sister. Murder, 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 murder. Freddie Gray, murder, 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 murder. Jamal Clark, murder, 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 murder. Eric Harris, murder, 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 murder. Eric Garner, murder, 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 murder. Michael Brown, murder, 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 murder. Trayvon Martin, murder, 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 murder. George Floyd, murder, 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 murder. Paul O'Neal, murder, 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 murder. Breonna Taylor.
It's really shocking to me. I mean, I don't really know what to say about this.
Murder, 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 murder. Indian Kager. Murder, 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 murder. Anthony Rose.
I haven't really heard it discussed like this.
Relative to their 21% share of all national fatal shootings in the country represent an even greater proportion of unarmed fatalities at about 34%, a little over a third. And more specifically, an unarmed black male is killed by a police officer at 5 times their relative share within the national population. And they are 4 times as likely to be killed by a police officer as an unarmed white male. So this illustrates 2 key important points, is that clearly there is evidence of a racial disparity in the use of lethal force by law enforcement, even amidst a decline in fatal police shootings across the country. And secondly, black males, and in particular unarmed black males, are at a greater risk and have more vulnerability to being a victim of a fatal police shooting relative to their white male counterparts and all other individuals across the country.
Yeah, that was heavy as hell, man. Yeah, I think anyone listening to this should know what the song is about. It's about police shootings and stuff like that of unarmed African Americans, and it's just, yeah, I don't really know what to say about it. I know I'm probably gonna say something to sort of, especially when I'm reviewing music, when you have to talk about the subject matter, I just feel like I'm gonna say something really fucking stupid without meaning to, and I don't want to offend anyone. Really hits home. That's some of the heaviest stuff. That is heavier than a lot of the metal that I listen to, where they're trying to make it as like overbearing as possible. It's just, this is a track which to me solidifies Monieman Trail's sort of skill and sort of caliber as a musician, as being able to make music like this. It's one of the best hip hop tracks I've listened to in my time as a music reviewer. I mean that genuinely. I'm not doing that to be nice. This is one of the best. Like, it was a sense of loss from the music as well. Like those crying out sort of synth pads and the drums that just, it's brutal. We've got Untitled, which is track number 3. Oh, this is the album. We'll listen to another single. Yeah, we'll go for Have It by Monieman, and that'll be the last one for today. This is beautiful with these sort of unusual kind of, how do I describe the synthesizers in this? There's some reversing of the samples. There is a kind of a twisted kind of nature, but it's also really beautiful. So it's a weird situation. On one hand, it's like, you know, like it's colorful and pretty and shiny and charming. And on the other hand, there's an uncertainty with it, you know?
Make me say, oh, baby, yeah, you know I gotta have it. I can tell you eat your cabbage. Then you make me say, oh, baby, yeah, you know I gotta have it. You done turn me to a sign.
I enjoy this track. I think it's really cool. It was nice to have that ballsy move of having the instrumental intro and that chorus go twice. Classy as hell, man. The musical theme is interesting enough and engaging enough for it to sit well, even if the vocals don't come in immediately. The effects on the vocal chain work well to harmonize with it.
A savage, yeah. Going deep up in your water, make you hold your breath. Yeah, you so cold just like a polar bear. She like when I take control, smack her ass and pull her out. I've been drinking from the bottle, so we gonna take it down. Put you on my shoulders, have you reaching for the stars. Yeah, your legs shaking, you screaming, oh my God. Yeah, we switching position, I gotta finish the mission. Yeah, I'm clutching your starter, got me purring that kitty. We like Bonnie and Clyde. When I ride, she ride. She like, damn, you the one when I hear from the side. Yeah, she stuttering like she screaming, maybe. Baby, this that round 2, come and lay back. You make me say, whoa.
Cool. So this song is about sex, this song is about fucking, and that's dope. That's okay, we're adults. Again, the mixing in this one is similar to the level of Crossroads. I do prefer the production value in Crossroad and Have It to Dirty. I think Dirty is a well-written song. I think collaboration between the two musicians is great. but just those kicks sit a lot better in this mix. The stereo padding of different instruments is really interesting as well. Like 2 minutes, you know. The bass 808 is nice and resonant as well without going overboard. Cool, man. So that's Have It, changing positions and stuff like that. I think we know what this track is about. The orchestration of it, the different elements within the mix suggest a complexity to the situation beyond. It's more than just sex, I think. It's more than that. It's like the intimacy, talking about how they're Bonnie and Clyde, how there's an actual connection between the two that's like an emotional one beyond, you know, the physical attraction and stuff like that. I think it's kind of dope. The theme behind it was nice and simple to allow room for him to come with those 2 hooks and the verse in between. It was in and out in that 2 minutes. Fantastic. Great. The production fairly nice and loud. Everything was sort of stretched well within the pan of the stereo field. And I got a lot of love for it. I think it's really well done. No real no complaints. No complaints at all. I mean, we've listened to Dirty, Crossroad, and Have It today, which are 3 very different tracks. As I said, I think Dirty was about people who are like, you know, the work they do during the day to hustle towards a career in music, and then like celebrating in the choruses and just enjoying themselves. And it's the journeys that they've had to get there. Crossroad again is about unarmed shootings and stuff like that of African American people by cops, which is obviously just horrendous. And then you've got Have It, which is a song about people, you know, people doing it, and like the connection they have beyond that. And three very different angles. It's a really excellent way to get sort of a grip on an artist, is to hear how they talk about different things. It's why it's often better to review a few different singles as opposed to an album where they've got like a concept they're trying to roll around. And, you know, Monieman Trail deserves more than 1 monthly listener. It's absolutely criminal to me that he isn't bigger than he is. I mean, I know he's releasing a lot of stuff recently. In a way, I'm thankful, because a lot of people who are starting to build a career will actually go and buy like bot accounts and stuff like that. And they would pay for viewers, and it's like you can't even really trust what's real or what's not. You know, you don't know if they're actually successful or if they're paid for the success. I hope that Monieman Trail will find more love for their music. Shout out as well to who was it in Dirty? Plug Curry, clearly, you know, skilled vocalist. But we have ourselves a musician here with the quote-unquote conclusion. Basically, we have a musician here who's a phenomenal lyricist and a really skilled vocalist. Used a lot of vocal effects modulation on their voice, but it works within the genre and it matches. And considering some of the subject matter we were talking about, it just worked with all of it. And I think that's a really great effort, because you've got to be really careful what you do with your voice in certain situations, you know. Last thing you want is for it to seem disingenuous, especially when you've got some serious subject matter that you're talking about. But no, he smashes it. The structure for most of these songs, we had Crossroad, which is a long one, I think, because the story, there were multiple sections in that, and each of them were absolutely, again, without a doubt, Crossroad is one of the best hip hop and rap singles I have listened to throughout my time as a music reviewer. Through these reviews, without a word of a lie, it's one of the best songs I've heard. That was 4 minutes, and that needed to be 4 minutes. And Dirty, Dirty was 3 minutes, and Have It was 2. The stuff they were talking about within those songs, it was as long as they needed to be. There was no filler in either of those tracks either. You had lots of the 808 drums, synth pads, and all that. Some guitar parts, some piano as well, I think, in Have It, and some other elements as well, including the Foley stuff that happened in Crossroad, which was really meaningful and a really smart idea to have that Foley in there, just to talk about the perspectives and news reports and stuff like that in the recordings. And aside from what the bass lines and chord progressions, or like the actual instrumentation, musicality of it, you had fairly sort of simple chord progressions and bass lines. There wasn't a whole lot of complexity there, I think, predominantly because if you made it too complex, it might distract from what the vocalists were doing. As in this music, in this genre, you need the vocalists to be the focal point. You cannot distract from that. It's detrimental to the experience if you do that. So I completely understand why there was a simplicity, and not necessarily simplicity the way the instruments were collected. There were lots of different bits, but there was never a point where the instruments became more important than what was being said through the mics by the rappers and all that. And the production value, aside from my like minor gripe with the level of the kick and dirty, I think that everything else was absolutely spot on and splendid. I really enjoyed listening to Monieman Trail today. It was a roller coaster ride of emotions, but I think it was well worth my time, and I really hope that more people can listen to Monieman Trail as well. Please show them support, please. Yeah, that was effectively my review though of Monieman Trail, various tracks. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show Monieman Trail some love via their various social medias, and stay cool and stay safe. And please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with their musical endeavors. Yeah, I suppose they need help with their musical endeavors. They need all the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. That's what I usually say. I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.